Hey guys, All in Crypto here and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video. Happy Friday guys, you've made it to the weekend. That is the good news that I have for you in this video. Today, I want you all to pay attention. I'm calling all cryptocurrency holders right now, whether you're an ETH maximalist, a Cardano maximalist, a Bitcoin maximalist, whatever cryptocurrency you are loyal to, I want you to put your differences aside in the space, come together as a space and pay attention to this infrastructure bill. Because right now, guys, there is an infrastructure bill that has been suggested to get passed by the US Senate that essentially is going to have devastating ramifications for a large sector of the cryptocurrency industry. What this bill has shown me more than anything is the very people in charge of regulating an asset class that we all love have no concept of how the underlying assets within this class work. There are elements of this bill that would essentially completely eliminate areas of DeFi, stake pools. It's really a shame that the people in charge have no idea of what they're in charge of, and we're going to talk about it all in this video. First of all, I want to be telling you why this is a concern. There was a new infrastructure bill that looks to raise 30 billion taxes through crypto taxes. Now, we've spoken about this. We've said on this channel, and we've kept you up to date, regulations are coming. Believe it or not, regulations are not a bad thing for the cryptocurrency space. Over-regulations will completely kill off any sort of innovation and essentially force people to move out of the US and completely cut the US off from the cryptocurrency race. And it is a real race. This technology is going to change the world, and the US are making critical decisions that they're rushing through and have no idea about right now. So we're going to get into it. So this bill, and why this is significant, according to the draft copy of the bill shared with Coindesk, any broker that transfers any digital assets would need to file a return under a modified information reporting regime. The draft defines digital assets as any digital representation of value recorded on a cryptographically secured distributed ledger or related technology. It also includes decentralized exchanges and peer-to-peer marketplaces in its definition of brokers. So the issue is they have defined brokers to encapsulate not just the exchanges and the decentralized exchanges, but the DeFi space. You know, we spoke to you the other day about some of Gary Gensler's, who's the chairman of the SEC. We actually don't mind the guy because he used to teach blockchain courses for about 3 years at MIT, so he has a relatively good understanding of this space. But it's clear that the rest of the senators, there are a few people like Senator Toomey who are fighting for this. We're going to talk so much to unpack, guys, but I really want you to pay attention. The reason I brought Gary Gensler up was because the SEC could then regulate such platforms if they had if they are advertising an interest rate return on a crypto asset. Alternatively, platforms that pool digital assets could be regarded as mutual funds, which could bring them into the SEC's purview. So who is really at risk here when they're talking about it? And I'm going to play a clip from Coinbase, just a start clip to kind of maybe, if I haven't explained it right, simplify what's going on with this bill. There have been amendments which we're also going to get into in a second, but these amendments still include staking pools and a large part of the DeFi space. What they're saying here is a broker and people that they can come in and regulate and that need KYC, know your customers, are staking pools. So a staking pool essentially if it doesn't get amended where it currently is at now, would need to know every single person, have some information on them, whether that be their national security number or whatever it is, on people delegating to that stake. Everybody providing liquidity to UNISWAP or any of these kind of DeFi protocols, UNISWAP would need to run KYC. It's going to become so cumbersome that it would completely kill off any innovation, almost make it not worth people doing it. Because how do you do that? This is a problem that hasn't even been solved. It's not an easy thing for these people that run stake pools, run DeFi platforms. Something like AAVE and Compound, who I am personally use these protocols. I'm in both AAVE and Compound. Do they then have to run a load of KYC? It would eliminate masks like MetaMask, etc., etc. It's really just a not very well thought out. You know, they haven't brought this bill up with the cryptocurrency space in mind. They've brought it up with them trying to recuperate some money that they've lost from their complete and utter incompetence over the past 2 years. I'm not just talking about the US here, guys. And please, when I say the US, I'm not talking about the people in the US. The US are great people from the US. US citizens are great individuals. They're very lovely people. I'm talking about the government, the people in charge. And it's not all of them, just the people that are kind of pushing this through. And one of the people who I'm talking about most prominently here is Janet Yellen. Janet Yellen has been lobbying against Wyden, LUMENS and Toomey. These are the three guys who are sticking up and trying to get this cryptocurrency bill amended so that there is clear distinction between an exchange and a stake pool, and that they don't have to operate in the same way. You know, the whole concept of DeFi is really being put at threat here. Crypto amendment report. So she's essentially against these guys. She's one of the people that would probably have been pushing for this. She's not a fan of crypto. The White House backs senators pushing for stricter crypto. So even the White House, Joe Biden and his administration are also pushing this. And they haven't got a bloody clue how the underlying protocols work in the crypto space. The whole idea of decentralized finance is being complete and utterly undone with this bill. It's a lot bigger than people kind of are thinking it to be, and it's sad to see, because instead of these guys trying to understand this and innovate it and allow it to create jobs in the US, allow it to enrich the US citizens, which is what we all want. Let's face it, why are we in crypto? Because we think that there is an unfair system that currently reigns, and we would like to replace it with something a little bit more decentralized and empowering to everybody, not just the very small few. It's just very sad that this is happening. They're killing off any innovation. And, you know, when they built the car, the automobile industry came about, guys, and this is just one example of any industry that has a long-standing effect on how we live day-to-day life now. They didn't build the car with seatbelts in mind. It wasn't until people started going through the windscreens that they thought, you know what, we better put a seatbelt in this. But that if they had, and nobody's calling for, and that's certainly not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm against safety. Safety is absolutely a key part, but safety doesn't come, it does, but it will come on its own natural progression. You know, if you sell a car that is unsafe, no one's going to buy it. If you put out a cryptocurrency there, and I'm saying we should have some regulations in regards to, you know, Ponzi schemes and people getting scammed and how we can go after the perpetrators. If a scam is identified, people don't then put their money into it, or they shouldn't. You know, it's really sad to see this. We'll play this clip from Coindesk, and then we'll move on. You know, because there are people fighting for this. There was a kind of reform, if you will, a revision. Senator who wrote controversial crypto rules proposed modest revision. And this is what he's essentially revised it to. So instead of, and also under the current bill, by the way, Bitcoin miners would have come under. They would have had to, you know, for everybody they're sending their crypto out to, or selling it or mining it, there would be, for every transaction that's made on the blockchain, they would have to know the KYC of the people who it's getting sent to. It would have crushed, complete and utterly crushed, the entire crypto. I can't believe people aren't talking about this. You know, I was going to make this video earlier, but I was that fired up. I thought, you know what? Come back a couple hours so you don't end up just sort of screaming down the camera that people should be paying a lot of attention to this. The bill was then modified, and it said validated distributed ledger transactions through proof of work, mining or selling hardware or software functions of which is permitted person can control the private keys. So they've ruled out Bitcoin mining and proof of work. Somebody actually got into an argument with me earlier, and they said, okay, well, we don't care about this because, you know, Ethereum's proof of work. And I'm like, for a start, dude, you have no idea about your underlying cryptocurrency and the fact that they're transitioning to proof of stake. So this will affect them eventually. And this is going to affect the entire crypto space. So whether you're proof of work, proof of stake, proof of authority, whatever you are, this affects you. Now, there are people going against it. If you are in the US, I think you can reach out to your senator and voice your concerns. There are proper avenues to do that. I don't really know the US system that well. I'm from the UK. You know, I don't even really know who does know our system that well. But this is something that needs to be paid attention to. And like I say, there were reforms to it. The bill excludes only proof of work mining or selling of hardware, software gives. This was crazy. I mean, this is just crazy that we're going to put this through. And there are definitely, you know, you can see here, Senator Toomey, who is a good guy for the crypto space, calls text of current crypto tax proposal unworkable. And he goes into reasons why. The statement by the Senate Banking Committee top Republican member highlighted the rocky road ahead of the $1 trillion infrastructure bill. The Biden administration signatures push calls for $550 million in new congressional spending, etc., etc. So we do have people fighting here. I'll play this clip, guys, then we're going to wrap this video up. But pay attention to this. You know, there is some good news here. I know this has been very doom and gloom. I do think that I hope that this isn't going to go through. The State of Crypto Infrastructure Bill shows Congress sees crypto as here to stay. So they are obviously seeing this as an industry that's going to stay here and trying to regulate it. But with these complete naive regulations that they put forward, you're killing off half the space. There's going to be nothing there for you to tax. You know, how are Uniswap going to do that? How and when does this come into effect? You know, if let's say this does get passed, let me tell you, crypto isn't going away. Let me make that damn clear from right now onwards, and I should have really said it at the start. Crypto isn't going anywhere. All you're going to do is push the innovation out of the US if you decide to do this, and make it so that people deliberately avoid you and your regulations. So let's play the clip, guys, and then let's wrap things up.
Well, as U.S. lawmakers look to regulate the digital asset space, a couple of bills, as I mentioned, have been proposed that could have enormous consequences for the U.S. blockchain industry. The U.S. infrastructure bill could rope in wallet developers, manufacturers, and even miners into enhanced reporting requirements, while Representative Don Byers' proposed bill could grant the federal government the ability to ban some stablecoins. And joining us now to discuss is U.S. Representative Tom Emmer from Minnesota. Welcome to the show, Congressman. So this new infrastructure bill seeks to raise about $30 billion from crypto investors by applying new information reporting requirements to exchanges and other parties. It expands the definition of a broker to include, quote, any person who, for consideration, is responsible for regularly providing any service effectuating transfers of digital assets. So this could mean software development.
I mean, where do you draw the line at that? That is not any kind of clarity on anything. I mean, is that stake pools? Is that any kind of DeFi that is facilitating that? Is that there's no clarity on that. They've not gone into any detail. They've just gone, look, this is what we're telling you. You must do this. Anyway.
Developers, manufacturers, and even miners, as I mentioned. Some suggest it could effectively ban mining in the United States. Are these real concerns?
They should be, yes. First off, there's another version of it this morning. The one that you're referring to, my understanding was expanding the net. The new one is trying to define certain things, but they both have the same impact. They will serve, if this is the approach that the Senate and ultimately the House decide to take, they will be frustrating innovation in this country and potentially sending entrepreneurs looking for places other than the United States of America to start these new and wonderful opportunities.
We'll leave it there. We don't really need to listen to much more because I've kind of ranted on for long enough, guys. I hope you are getting the picture here of what is upon us. Like I say, let me make this clear. Crypto isn't going anywhere. It's just going to drive innovation out of the US, and it's a sad thing for the US and the people in it. You know, and this has an effect on, it doesn't matter if you're in the US. The US is the biggest player in the game, really. This has an effect on the rest of the world, and it's through people trying to regulate something they have no idea how to regulate, and they have no idea what they're even on about. Just so frustrating. Somebody's been in for 4 years, longer than 4 years now. Somebody that's been here. Can you imagine how frustrating this is for people that have been around since the inception of Bitcoin? I mean, oh, guys, I'm going to love and leave you on that note. Don't be too doom and gloom. You know, it's not been passed yet. We'll see what happens. Hopefully, I'll see you all on the next YouTube video. Thanks a lot for watching, ladies and gentlemen.